Good day, everyone. This is Zusi, Customer Success Manager at Double GDP. Welcome to the CSM Sprint updates. So today I have some updates on the AIR program. The highlights of this sprint will be that we now have prospect of renting 3 homes at Nkwashi, as well as prefabs to welcome the new artists. We have finalized the AIR 3 budget, as well as the AIR 2 extension budget, and we have the lifestyle artists moving in this weekend at Nkwashi. In terms of the challenges for this sprint, it will still be to decide which accommodation will work the best for the newcomers. The output of the sprint have been Instagram and Facebook content, as well as 2 new sculptures, bringing it to a total of 5 sculptures at Nkwashi. My objective for next sprints are to review the value of Air 2, as well as to conclude on housing options for the new artist. So now looking at the Hackers in Residence program updates, we have 1 hacker that is almost signed to move into Nkwashi by March the 10th. Social media ads are doing great as we get a lot of interest and inquiries about the program. The challenge will still be how time sensitive the project is, but we have now gotten used to it, so it's going much better. The outputs of this sprint would have been Instagram social media campaigns, including testimonials. And my objectives for next sprint are to review the async interviews of 5 candidates, to have the first hacker officially sign the terms and conditions, to recruit the second hacker for March cohort, as well as to conclude on housing options for the new hackers. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my customer success sprint update. I will start sharing my screen. So yes, I will take us through the voice of the client. So to kick off, I will start with the client who requested to have their plot information as well as their payment information to be updated on the application. So recently we launched the payment feature and a lot of clients have been requesting to add it for their payment history to be added onto the app. So this is actually good feedback because it means that clients are using the Nkwashi app on a daily basis and would like to see all their accurate and up-to-date information, whether it be plot or payment features shown on the application. And a second one was a client who commented, "Well done, Council family. Let's all keep doing our part to have our city of the future." So this client was commenting on a post that we had recently shared with the Nkwashi clients on a family's construction journey at the Nkwashi site. So concerning customer support and operations, we recently conducted an interview with a client around their construction journey. That is the Kanswe family, and that went pretty well. We scheduled a training program with the Nkwashi sales consultants, plus the new consultants who have joined their team. So this is basically a refreshing of the previous training we had done on client enrollment, merging, the usage of tasks, how they can use forms and plot additions as well. And we also started working with the collections department to facilitate the usage of the payment feature and sharing of feedback or suggestions that they have. So this is also still ongoing and it's going pretty well so far. And we have been sharing all the feedback that we have collected and suggestions with the engineering team as well. Highlights of the sprint was brainstorming with the Nkwashi team on ideas on how I can increase the metric. We did a client interview on their construction perspective, and we updated the construction process data for February, the second week. And we are uploading a challenge for this past sprint was uploading of new campaign data to the app. So this has been shared with one of the engineers and we're hoping this can be realigned. And a major objective for next sprint will be updating of client plot information, data, and payment data, just to make sure that everything is up to date. So thank you for listening to my sprint update. I'll forward it over to Penny now.
All right. All right. Sorry about that. So let me share my screen here. My name is Penny, and I will be giving you my sprint update for the week or for the sprint ending 17th of February 2020. Just 1 second here. All right. Oh. General sprint updates for the previous sprint. Some of the highlights were aligning with Nkwashi on some of its projects, or on some projects that we're working together on. And I'll be mentioning what that project is on my next point, which is what outputs were there this sprint. So the project that I was referring to in 1A is basically the alignment and finalizing the content calendar, the 2021 content calendar with Nkwashi. Another output was the client feedback calls, which continue to be very helpful and insightful to us, customer journey mapping and persona creation. And finally, the progress with some partner homes that GDP will be using for its residency programs, such as the HIR and the AIR. Challenges of this sprint personally are communication breakdowns or miscommunications with some of the suppliers that we are working with as GDP to help provide some homes for the residency programs that I have referred to in 2D. So goals for this upcoming sprint, Mutale already alluded to this. We will be conducting up training with Nkwashi sales consultants. Some new staff are on board, and obviously just a refresher course for even those that are already there. Number two, follow-up conversations with some partners in seeing how we can facilitate to bring some construction materials closer to Nkwashi City. Send out some surveys or begin some conversation in some instances with different clients, depending on where they are in the phase of the construction pipeline, which Doreen will shed more light on. And finally, continuing our client feedback calls. And that's my update for this sprint. I will hand it over to Doreen.
Thank you, Penny, for that update. Thank you, Mitalia, as well. I will be giving the summary of the head of customer success or the customer successes team journey through this sprint. So just a quick recap of what we discussed in our last sprint. And so we covered the brainstorm discussions with Nkwashi. We received the first level feedback on what we can be able to progress in the short term. We also had a discussion with them on how we can increase the transition rate from floor plan purchases stage. And this we shall be doing through a rewards program that we shall be refining in the next sprint. And finally, we have been able to start having a projection in our residency goal for the next 3 months. I'm happy to report that we have 100% of our February numbers, but we only have 50% of our March numbers forecasted. In terms of where we are in data, so thanks Mutale and Tamara for helping us get this data together. We have had a single-digit growth, particularly around those who are eligible to start construction and those whose floor plan have been purchased. And there's been no progress for those whose constructions have been approved. We do expect in the next month that, and this may be covering 2 sprint updates, that we shall have a number of constructions completed, and therefore having our census increase or number of residents increase within the period. So what are we doing about changing these transitions? So firstly is the one that we have identified in our last sprint that we'd like to tackle, which is the floor plan purchase. And we're going to be working to refine and get approval for the rewards program, and finally launch that within the next sprint. We expect that there will be a marginal increase within the transition from 12% to 18%, but that will just be in the first month. And this will increase month on month as we move forward. As I'd mentioned, our February goal, we already have our residents confirmed through the AIR program. But by addressing the shortfall in housing, that has been our challenge, we should be able to house these residents before the end of this month. And finally, in terms of the product, we shall be creating and working with Nkwashi to identify adoption milestones that will help us not only track how well we're doing in terms of feature adoption, but we shall also be celebrating these milestones as we achieve them. And we shall be starting off with the payments feature rollout. So once again, this is Doreen Okiri, and looking forward to giving you our updates in the next sprint. Thank you.